Our desire at corporate, what we truly, truly want for each of you, is that this business enables you to live a rich, fulfilling, secure life. A life that perhaps we could call a life of true prosperity. We want this business to be a vehicle for you to achieve the quality of life for you and for your families. Our ambition is to enable you to create sustainable economic security, and we want you to participate in this truly unique culture. You know, we find, as we travel around the world, that most people want their lives to stand for something more than just the size of their savings account. So if you're one of those people, if you want to live a life of influence, if you want to live a life where you can truly make a difference in the world, then you're in the right place. Let's face it, you don't have to spend very much time reading the news today to realize that we're living in a world that's filled with an awful lot of economic turbulence. It's just been a very, very tough few years over the last several years. There's a lot of uncertainty everywhere in the world, and this economic uncertainty has created some very, very sobering financial realities for people all over the globe. But here's the thing. This challenge that we face isn't necessarily for those who have been personally impacted by global economic turmoil. We have a problem, and it's a problem even for those who have great jobs. And that's because whether we're personally suffering from the impact of economic distress or not, we have a big, big problem, and it's simply a math problem. So I want to take a minute. I'm not a mathematician, but I want to do a little math with you all. Let's take a look at someone, let's take a look at a financial profile of someone who's maybe 50 years old. Now let's say that when pondering the prospect of retirement, this person wants to be able to generate income of, say, $5,000 a month. Now let's assume that this person has about $150,000 in savings, that he has 15 years of work life left, and that he wants to make sure that he can survive for 20 years during this period of retirement. Now let's also assume that we're living in a world with a 3% inflation rate, which is very low, and that an after-tax return on investment may be something in the order of 5%. Now that's, frankly, an optimistic return on investment these days because it isn't easy to get 5% after-tax anywhere in the world. Now let's also assume that this person wants to leave behind $150,000 to make a difference in the lives of his children and his family members. So given these factors, I ask myself, what does this person need to be saving on a monthly basis in order to be able to survive at this level in a retirement phase? That's saving, not just making, but saving. Well, in this case, as we do the math, this person would have to be saving about $2,200 a month in after-tax dollars. Now, I wonder, in a world where the average income is, in this country at least, is about $5,000 a month, is it realistic for this person to save $2,200 a month? I don't think so. I don't think this person has a realistic shot at living a life of prosperity. So let's just change a couple of these assumptions just really quickly and see what happens. Let's say $5,000 a month isn't enough. Let's say that this person needs $10,000 a month to survive. And let's also recognize that none of us have any control whatsoever on three very important factors. Inflation, our tax rate, our return on investment are all outside of our ability to control. So let's say that inflation ticks up even 1 percentage point to 4%, which is very conservative. And let's say that after-tax return on investment is only about 2%, which, frankly, for the past decade has been about all that anyone can get. So when we do the math on this scenario, the amount of required savings jumps up to $6,800 a month in savings. Now, you and I both know that for the average person, this is not going to work. So here's the harsh reality of the world that we're living in, whether we have a good job or not. And that is, for 98% of us, it is virtually impossible to save our way to financial prosperity. Virtually impossible, particularly when we have no control over inflation, tax rate, and rate of return. It just isn't possible. Now, Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we shouldn't save money, we should, but we shouldn't fool ourselves into thinking that savings is going to be enough. So what do? You know, there have been periods of time in my life where I really worried about my ability to provide for my family. And for me, I know there's nothing more stressful than the prospect of wondering whether you can really provide the quality of life that you'd like to for your family. So in response to this stress that we all face, there's a folklore that says that ostriches stick their heads in the sand. They bury their heads so that they can't see, because what you can't see can't hurt you, right? Well, we humans, we tend to do the same thing, which is why many have called us the ostrich generation. It's simply too stressful to face all of this economic reality, and so we stick our head in the sand, and we hope that when we surface, our stress will have magically gone away. Our job, those of us here in the room, our job is to create an experience that enables people to pull their heads out of the sand and open their eyes to an opportunity that we offer, which is a much better pathway to prosperity. So to help us do that, we have created a couple of apps for you to use. Now, what this app will show is that for 98% of the population, it is virtually impossible to save our way to financial prosperity. Now, let's consider this from another financial perspective. We've developed a second app, okay, this is app number 2, to show someone the value of the businesses that you are creating based on a certain level of income per month. So let's look at it this way. If your targeted income is $5,000 a month, and you're able to achieve an after-tax return on investment of even 1.25%, you will need to have saved nearly $5 million in savings to generate that kind of income. I mean, how realistic is that for people? So here's a second app that quickly demonstrates the value of the businesses that you all are creating based on whatever level of income you want to put into the app. Now, over the past few years, the reality of the financial plight that people face in the world has really struck home with me. I'm 52 years old, and I am blessed and very fortunate to have a great job. But if even I were relying solely on savings, even with the great job that I have, it would be very, very difficult, if not impossible, for me to get to where I want to be from a financial perspective. There's only one way to achieve prosperity, one way, and that is to build a business asset that generates cash flow for you and for your heirs on a sustainable, long-term basis. Now, of course, there are many people today and many people in the future who will realize that their current path isn't going to get them to where they want to be. So they'll go out into the marketplace and they'll survey the landscape for opportunities to create one of these business assets and take a real shot at prosperity. But listen, you in this room and I both know that starting a business involves a tremendous amount of significant risk. Most of the time, if you really want to take a serious effort at creating a meaningful business, you put everything you own at risk. Everything. And what you get in return is all of the headaches associated with running a business: product development, protecting your intellectual property, putting inventory in your warehouse, distribution, sales, all the legal headaches, HR headaches, janitorial services, you name it. You have all of these risks and headaches of running a business. And usually what we get after we put everything at risk and work our tails off is nothing better than what we had before, except we're working harder and now we're carrying a lot more risk. So this reality creates a very big gap between risk and reward, and that's why I want to call it the negative reward gap. Now, we all know today that we have a solution for the world's problem. We offer the world a new business paradigm. Now, you know that one of the biggest phenomenons of our age, of the internet age, is social media, sites like Facebook and YouTube and other sites of that nature. Well, the new business paradigm that we offer the world could just as well be called social enterprise or a social business model. With a social business model, your corporate sponsor assumes most of the risk associated with the business and does a lot of the work associated with the traditional business so that you can focus on one thing and one thing only. And that is what Blake and Steve and Sandy have taught all of our lives, helping others succeed. That's it. You help others succeed while we at corporate do all of the hard work normally associated with building a business. And the upside, fortunately, of the social business model is that top earners achieve significant levels of income, creating a very positive gap between risk and reward. Yeah, I hear you. This is significant. Now, this phenomenon, this new social business model, is not going unnoticed. In fact, one of the ads that appeared in the Wall Street Journal just this year called what we do the ultimate social business model. And this new paradigm, just a few decades old, is meeting with tremendous success all around the world. Let me just share a little bit of data with you here. 88 million people around the globe now involved in a social business of one sort or another. 50,000 people a day joining a social business of one sort or another. From 2009 to 2010, in the worst of all economic times, our industry grew 12% in revenue and 19% by the number of people involved in what we call the social business model. In the worst of all economic times. I mean, that's us out there providing hope for people who desperately need us. Now, within this business model, as I have come to know it over the past 15 years, there is one company that is clearly the cream of the crop. And fortunately, for all of us here in this room, it happens to be the one that we're associated with. Yeah. This is a company with a track record of success. How many companies do you know of out there that can claim that they've had record revenue years for the last 3 years in the worst of all economic environments? Not very many. And in today's world, there are still many companies who try to do what we do that do not offer their sales partners, their distributors, to do business in a truly global fashion. And for an entrepreneur who's interested in developing a robust business these days, it's critically important that the business opportunity you offer enables you to reach into China, to reach into Southeast Asia, to reach into Eastern Europe, to reach into South America, and these markets that are growing at very, very robust rates. What you have in your partner at NuSkin Enterprises is a company that has always been willing to invest in your future. The day you start a NuSkin business, you become the CEO of a company that has already invested $1.25 billion of capital in your startup business. That's a big number. And I would challenge anybody to go out and raise that kind of money to start a business in this environment. That's how serious we are about investing in your success. And fortunately for all of us, this investment is being made in a sector that is as vibrant as a sector could be. It's targeted at the most vibrant consumer product opportunity in the history of the world. Now, if you're looking for market trends, let me just share a little data with you about one of the biggest, most significant megatrends ever. Our societies are aging, and the markets for what we do are rapidly exploding and will become a $1 trillion business per year by 2025. $1 trillion marketplace. And this megatrend is not unique to just one country. The market for anti-aging products is exploding around the world. Now, as you know, because of the size of these markets, there is a lot of attention focused on anti-aging, and the result is a confused consumer. Consumers enter a drugstore and they see a mountain of product in front of them, and they simply do not know which ones to pull off the shelf in a fashion that will really make a difference in the way we age. Now, man has spent thousands of years and billions of dollars searching for what they call the fountain of youth. Our message to the world is that the fountain of youth is not found in some distant place. It turns out, as is the case with many of life's greatest challenges, that the answer all along lied within us. The answer is in our genes. It's our genes that determine and that influence how we age. Our job is to figure out how to influence those genes in return. Now, the NuSkin strategy is to battle aging at its source, the human genome. And this breakthrough genetic approach to anti-aging is based on 30 years of proprietary research, giving us exclusive access to scientific resources that enable us to identify, target, and reset genes that are responsible for key aging processes. Now, how many of you, by chance, saw the press release that we issued yesterday, which I hope you take very positively, because our exclusive access just got even more exclusive as we acquired LifeGen Technologies yesterday. Now, the result here is a new superclass of anti-aging products. AgeLOC is your key to living younger longer. Now, at NuSkin, we enjoy another significant competitive advantage, and that is that we know that the battle of aging can't be fought on one front. We're the only direct selling company out there that has the substance that we enjoy in battling aging from both the outside as well as from the inside. And we are without peer when it comes to fighting the battle on both of these fronts. No one does this as well as we do. Now, people are starting to notice what we do. Now, one investor said this about us. He said that NuSkin has found a successful niche and is coming out with new products each year. This company, NuSkin, is the Apple of anti-aging companies. Now, I am a big fan of Apple, and I'm a big fan of Apple products, and I know many of you are. I mean, this is the world's most valuable technology company, if not the world's most valuable company, and certainly one of the most incredible brands in all the world. And they do something better in their space than any other company does. They innovate, and they do it the right way. You know, Apple has changed the technology landscape by creating one hit after another, one revolutionary product after another. And in our view, that's the way innovation is done right. Well, at NuSkin, we do the same thing. We build on our success by continually providing you with landscape-changing products. We just don't believe in developing me-too, run-of-the-mill products. That's why I'm so excited. Well, we are the Apple of the anti-aging world and the social enterprise world. We innovate. And this character trait is embedded deeply into our DNA. You know, Apple was blessed to have a founder, Steve Jobs, who truly, Steve Jobs was truly one of a kind. But NuSkin also has a founder who was blessed with the innovator's DNA. Now, I've known Blake Roney. I've known Blake Roney, I think, for as long as anyone in this room, except for his family members. And I can tell you that Blake Roney is an innovator. It's just who he is. I want to show you a little clip here that will give you a view of not only the Innovation Center from the outside, but the Innovation Center from the inside. Let's take a look at this video if we can run it. our investment is not just in the home office. We've made a number of investments in facilities all around the world. And we're also pleased to have announced recently a new headquarters and manufacturing facility and distribution center just outside of Shanghai, China, which will serve as the headquarters for our Greater China region. This facility is going to be spectacular. It's actually as large in square footage as our downtown campus in Provo will be. So 2 years ago, we announced our vision. We called NuSkin 2.0, our vision to become the world's leading direct selling company by generating more commissions for you than any other company. That requires that we hit $5 billion in sales so that we can pay out $2 billion in commissions to you every single year. We've made great progress on our progress towards this vision. In fact, I'm happy to report today that we're ahead of schedule. This year we'll pay out $730 million in distributor commissions. That's $80 million more than what we paid out last year. And we'll also surpass $8 billion in total commissions paid this year in 2011. $8 billion. And every 5 days, we are creating a new $1 million earner. Now, when we first started this calculation back in 2008, we were creating a new $1 million earner every 10 days. Now, 3 years later, it's every 5 days. And along the road to NuSkin 2.0, I know I'm going to celebrate the day when we are creating a new $1 million earner every single day of the year. Now, in our effort to reach $2 billion a year in commissions, it was also quite remarkable to me to realize that it took us 13 years to reach our first $1 billion of commissions paid cumulatively. Now, we pay out $1 billion in commissions every 16 months. And when we hit our 2.0 target, we'll be paying out $1 billion in commissions every 6 months. Now that is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And imagine how many lives are going to be blessed as we reach this level of success. So to summarize, what an incredible company this is and what an incredible opportunity we all have here. I brought another video that I want to show you all that sums up how vibrant an opportunity we have today. So there you have it. All of the factors that line up to make this a very exciting time for NuSkin Enterprises. Business trends in our favor, more than $1 billion invested in your startup business, a new superclass of anti-aging products, a commitment to continually innovate and renew the vibrancy of your opportunity, and a wealth engine that's proven to generate prosperity. Our message to the world is that the timing is always right for NuSkin Enterprises. The question is, if not now, when will the timing be right for you? Thank you for coming to this convention, everyone. It's great to have you here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.